Hi guys, Mike Lambo here. Just going to do a quick playthrough of the first mission of Battles of Normandy, one of my game books. So here we have the map for that first mission. This is called Regrouping, so immediately after landing on D-Day, or I should say just before D-Day in June 44. So first thing to do then is to set up the German forces. So we're going to do that by consulting a table, which I've not got on display here, but it's fairly straightforward. Basically 1 to 3 you get a rifle squad, 4 and 5 gives you a machine gun team, and a 6 gives them a half track. So let's see what they get. So 4 is a machine gun team. I'm going to use grey cubes for those, and then we place that on the map by rolling 2 dice to get to the column number, which is 5, and you can see too well on here, but the numbers are along the top of the map there for the Germans. So that was 5, and then roll another dice, re-rolling 6s this time, and count down in column 5 by 3 hexes, so that machine gun team goes there. So again, show you that again, rifle squad, this time starts at column 6, and 1 down, so that goes there. We use brown for those. And again, another rifle squad, column is 8 and 2, puts that one there. So you can see set up really nice and quick. Another rifle squad, 6 and 1, that's already been taken. So what you do then is just re-roll again, so 4 and 3. So you re-roll the positional dice again if the hex is taken already. You can only have 1 unit per hex in this game. Okay, so keeping going. Another rifle squad. This time it's 8 and 1. So over there. And this time we have a half track, and that will start at 7 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So over here in the woods. Now we just have to double check. We're trying to get 10 points of units here for the Germans. Rifle squads are 1, so we've got 4 of those. That's 4 points. 2 for the machine gun is 6, and 3 for the half track is 9. So 1 more point. It can only be a rifle squad. You have to spend exactly 10 points. There's no point in rolling. It's got to be a rifle squad. So I'll pick up one of those, and that's going to be 10 and 4. So that's going to be in the woods, just there. Okay, so there on there. Obviously, this is a game book you can write in lightly in pencil, so there are suggested annotations as there are in all my books to tell you how you might want to do that. You can erase and move things around, but these books do lay pretty flat, as you can see here, and they're quite easy to play with cubes, which I like to use, or you can even just make little cardboard tokens or use miniatures from other games and so on and so forth. So yeah, plenty of options for play. So then we're going to set up the British forces at the bottom here. So again, we've got numbered hex along there. It works in the same way. The table this time is 1 to 3 for a rifle squad, 4 and 5 for a machine gun team, and 6 rather than a half track. That gives me a choice between a Piat team or a sniper team. So you know, already you can see there's a decision to be made. If you do roll a 6, you've got to decide what you want. There's a half track on the board, so maybe I'd want a Piat team to try and deal with that. But they've also got lots of rifle squads, so a sniper would be pretty useful as well. Anyway, let's see what happens. So straight away we've got that 6, so I've got to make that choice. And in fact, I'm going to bring in a Piat team. So let's see where they land. Remember, these forces are 6 and 2. Well, that's in the water, so re-roll the positional dice again. It's 5 and 2. Remember, these forces were parachuting in. The weather was bad. There were a few mistakes made as well, which meant that forces were scattered. And that's what this is trying to reflect here. So I have to deal with the forces that come along, the ones you get. So 1 is a rifle squad. So I'm going to do those. That's going to be 11 and 4. So that's going to be in the woods here. Then we're getting another rifle squad, which is 6 and 4. So that's over here. So you set up really Pretty straightforward. This is a machine gun team. They're going to come in at 2 and 3. I'm going to use a purple cube for those. So we've got 2, 4, 6. Sorry, 2, 4, 5, 6 so far. So it's 2 points for the special units and 1 for the rifle squad, basically. So for the British forces, that's 4, 5, 6. Again, we're looking for 10 points forces. So I've got 6 or another option here. I think this time I'm going to go for a sniper team. I'm going to use this sort of pale flesh-coloured cube for that. And that's going to be 4 and 5. So put that up in the woods there. And so it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So what else we got? Rifle squad. That's going to go in at 5, column 5 and 2 up. That's already taken. So roll the positional dice again. Column 9 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, that's in the woods up there, which is handy. And again, I'm in a position where I've got 9 points on the board. Need 1 more. So it's going to be a rifle squad. So I'll take the rifle squad, put it at 2, 6 again. You roll that. Re-roll that, so it's a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's over here on the left hand side. Okay, so fairly spread out, you can see now. Random setup, different each time. You know, sometimes you could be facing lots of machine guns. In this case, I'm facing lots of rifle squads. They've got a bit of support. The rifle squads tend to sort of move towards you and gradually kind of fight. The half track is similar, can be fairly aggressive, whereas the machine gun teams tend to go towards the objectives and will move towards the objectives and defend those. So in some ways it's quite nice when you've got 1 machine gun. There are 2 objectives, which are these red hexes here. So I win the game by occupying those 2 objectives at any point. So if I can do that, then I'll win immediately. So there's 10 turns to achieve those objectives. I'll put a marker on the first turn here to show that's where we are. And as with my game books, generally you follow through the charts on the left hand side, and that gives you the order as well as kind of basically all the information you need there, give or take. So the first turn then, first thing we deal with is just German reinforcements here, but we only deal with those when there's an R in the turn tracker, which there isn't. Don't have to worry about those till turn 4, so we can ignore that for now. Then we've got an event here, so let's have a look what we got there. We've got a 1, and that's German mortar fire. Okay, so not a great start. First thing then to do is to select the column in which that mortar fire is going to appear, and we roll double dice, and we're coming from the German end, from the top here. We've got a 5, so this column here is going to be the German mortar fire coming in here, and then we roll 3 dice. Add them together, that's 9, and count 9 down. So column 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The mortar fire lands here in this building, and it affects the 6 hexes around it as well. So sort of an area attack. That's missed, fortunately, so we don't need to worry about that. So we move on to the German turn. The units are operated or activated in the order given on the chart. So the first one is a half track. So starting with that, the black cube over on the side there, remember the half track. We roll 2 dice for the unit, you get 2 2s, and you deal with them in order. So obviously it doesn't matter here because they're both the same, but 1 to 2 is move 2 hexes towards the nearest British unit. So we find the nearest British unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they've got 2 of them there. Going to sort of move down towards these, and there are ways of working this out. It's going to go here because it can't move into building hexes, and then it will always try to seek out the best cover it can, so it will go there on its second move. So 1, 2, avoid the building, into the woods, straightforward. Then you deal with the other dice, so you deal with the movements separately, even though there's 2, don't add them together. Half tracks move, sorry, the AI generally, the Germans move according to the blue chart. So another 2 will do the same thing again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, they're still about the same, so this time it'll go into the woods and then into that hex there, because it can't go into the building, and obviously going that way takes it away from the 2 units. Okay, next will be the machine gun team. Roll 2 dice for them, 4 and 5. They both are attack, so 3 to 6 is attack, so they're both trying to attack the British unit with the lowest rating. They can't do that, they're too far away. we'll deal with that nearer the time. Then we've got these 5 rifle units, so nice and quickly, really straightforward AI orders. We won't be you won't be spending, once you get used to this, and I'm taking long because I'm talking about it. Once you get used to it, it moves really quickly. When you've got more than one, the rule is you start with the units further down the map, so nearest to the British end, I guess. And then if there are 2 on the same row, you would go from left to right. So again, there's no no messing about randomly deciding, you just do it like that. So the rifle unit here is at the front. So 2 dice for that rifle unit, 2 and 3. 2 says if any objective is occupied British unit, move towards that. Well, it's not yet. So no objective occupied, move 2 hexes towards the nearest British unit. So again, it's going to come down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's this one here, and again, he'll come down. Obviously, could get to that, or that. They're all going to be, those 3 hexes there, because it's moving 2, are all going to be equidistant from this, and it will again move into the one with the highest defense rating. A 3 for the rifle unit is an attempted attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can just reach this guy, but because he's in the cover, it would actually need not a 6 but a 7+. So we'll do a bit more detail about how that works when we actually get somebody within range. So that's him done. Over to this guy, he's got a 3 and a 4, so he's trying to attack twice. He can't do that, he's too far away, so that's nothing for him. Third rifle squad here gets a double 1. Now 1 for a rifle is move 1 hex to any of the 3 adjacent hexes below the current hex. So this guy here will try to move to one of those 3, and it will always move to the one with the best cover, so it will instantly go into the woods there. The other one will do the same. Again, it's a choice of 3, and because they're all clear, so they're all the same cover rating of 0, we just roll a dice. So in the usual wargaming way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 1, so we'll go over there. Okay, and that particular move, that rolling a 1, takes no account of where the objectives are or the British forces or anything. It just makes the rifle squads move down the map slowly. These last 2 rifle squads are on the same hex row, so we just go from left to right. So the first one tries to attack twice with a 5 and a 6. Can't do that, it's too far out, it stays where it is. And the second one over here gets a 2 and a 4. The 2 will move it 2 hexes towards the nearest British unit. Again, it can move to any of these sort of 3 here in 2 moves, so we'll go into the one with the best cover for now. The 4 is wasted because they're too far away to shoot, and that's the end of the AI team. As I say, it's much it is much quicker obviously when I'm not talking through it. It's really simple to operate. There's only a couple of options for each of the AI units, and you can soon get to know them, and quite a lot of the time they won't be doing a great deal, particularly in the early stages. And obviously once the number of units reduce, then things speed up. So then we take the first British turn. Again, we do the same thing. We can activate in any order we like. It can be a tactical consideration sometimes. If it's not, it's best to do it in some way that is easy to remember what you've done, which ones you've activated and which ones you haven't. So we're going to think about these rifle guys over here first of all, because we've got this rather nasty looking half track. Now that carries a defense of 3 on its own. It's the only unit in the game that has its own defense. Obviously it's armoured, so it has defence. Everybody, all the other units are just people, and therefore they don't have any natural defence themselves, although they can get cover from the terrain, obviously. So this is tricky to hit. Standard unit. You've really got to be within 3 of it, 3 hexes, because then you add another 3 for the defence, so you need a 6 just to hit from that distance. So it's a bit tricky. I think I'm going to go with this rifle squad first. So I really do get this Piat team over there fairly quickly, but we'll see how that goes. Let's start with this rifle squad. I get a 2 and a 3, and the British activation or actions you can take are down here on the green strip. So I've got a 2 and 3, so I can move with a 2 and move with a 3. So he can move twice, and that's okay at the moment. What I'm going to do, I can move 2 hexes, so the move column of the British unit tells you how many hexes. All units can move 2. All British units move 2, so that's quite easy to remember. And again, I've got to deal with them separately, so I move 2 and then can move another 2 if I wish, or up to 2. I think for now I'm going to try and I'm going to put him in there with one of those moves and not use the other one, because that gives him 2 cover bonus, and hope that he might get a go at that half track at some point. The second rifle team I'm going to throw here, hoping for something a little bit more. That's better. He's got a 6 there. The 3 is a move, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to take him over to there, again into the building. So moving 2 hexes. The 6 allows him to shoot. So he's going to shoot at this half track. So 1, 2, 3 hexes away. You ignore intervening terrain. It doesn't sort of block line of sight or anything. So 1, 2, 3. But then he's got his own 3 defense, this half track, so that's 6. So the rifle squad would need 6+ to destroy that, and we can see that their attack is a 1d6. They only throw 1 dice, which, you know, yeah, I need a 6. It's not a great odds, is it? But then rifle squad from distance against a half track would be tricky, wouldn't it? But let's try. You never know. We've missed. Okay, so we're down here then. We've got this sniper in the woods here. Now snipers ignore all defensive cover and terrain and things, so they'll hit somebody in a building as if they weren't in a building, and so on. They shoot everything as if it's in a clear hex. But it does say here, ignores buildings and woods defense, but cannot attack half tracks. So your sniper can't take out half track at all. So we really want to keep this sniper away from that half. There's no point in being over there. So let's try and push him up there. So what we get, got a 3 and a 6. And again, you can see that's 3 is a move and a 6 is attack. So just looking at this in a bit more detail, 1 is cover, which means you can add a cover cube to or cover marker to the unit, and that gives them 1 extra cover. So if they're in the clear, they'll get a +1 cover. If they're in woods, which gives you a +1, they would then get a +2, and so on. 2, 3, and 4 is move, and 4, 5, and 6 is attack. So 4s are quite nice because they give the option to move or attack, not both. And if I roll a double at any point, I can actually call in a mortar strike, which I probably missed that earlier on, didn't I, with somebody? Did I miss that? I can't remember. Or was that on the Germans? I can't remember. Germans don't do that. They have their mortar strikes come with the events. But anyway, if I roll a double, I can, instead of moving, call in a mortar strike. So for this guy, I've got a move and an attack. So this sniper, what I'm going to do, I think, is just push him up into this building. Again, really important to stay in cover as much as possible. I've got these 4 units down here to think about. So the first one is this rifle squad. He's also got a move and an attack. So he's going to move into this building, which is helpful. My Piat team. Okay, I guess double 6. Now, that's no use whatsoever for the Piat team itself because it's 2 attacks. So I really wanted to move them into this rather grand-looking building here, but I can't do that. But of course, with a double 6, I can call in a mortar strike. So that's what I'm going to do. And what I get to do when I get to a British mortar strike, I get to choose the hex on the bottom here that I want to use, and then, as with the German mortar strike, I throw 3 dice and count that far up the map to see what I've hit, and again it hits the 6 hexes around it. So I'm thinking that maybe if I go for column 9, which is here, it kind of passes the half track. You never know, might get lucky, but more importantly it kind of goes up into this group of riflemen up here. You never know. I need a fairly large roll to get up there somewhere. If it goes off the end of the map, which it can do, it's just a miss. So let's see what my mortar strike brings. Oh, it's not bad, it's 13. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I've landed on. Let me put a little temporary orange marker on top of him. This is actually landed on this rifle guy here, or at least in the same hex as his rifle squad, which is useful. Now, what a mortar strike does is it does a 1d6 attack on the hex it lands on. So anything in that hex gets a 1d6 attack, and all cover applies in the normal way, and it counts as a 1 distance attack. So let me tell you what that means. That means I've got to assume the attack's coming from 1 away, so that would be 1, and then they're in the woods, which is a +1. That means it's 2 to hit. The rifle guy obviously has no natural defense, so that's a 2+ to hit. So fairly good for a direct strike on a non-armoured unit like this. So 5 will do. So that destroys that rifle unit. Then it attacks. Remember, the 6 or affects the 6 hexes around it as well. So we've also got this rifle guy. Now this, what this does here is it does a distance 2 attack. So this guy is going to be 2. Fortunately for me, he's not in any cover, so that means he's also a 2+ to hit. So again, I roll the dice, get a 6. He's gone as well. That brings the Mortar Strike to an end. So, you know, a really effective Mortar Strike. Yes, they're a bit random, but you get some savour. You've got to be careful when you're shooting over your own troops in case you roll sort of a really low roll or something, because they do affect friendly units in exactly the same way as enemy units. So you've got to be a bit careful with those. But fortunately, in that situation, it worked out well. So we've done these cubes over here. We just had these units over here, I should say. We've just got these 2 over on the left-hand side, left. So I've got this rifle squad. I'll do them first. 4 and a 6. The 4 member is a move or attack. I'm going to just move him up into the woods. And finally, my machine gun team, similarly 5 and 6. Well, that's no good either because that's 2 attacks. And at the moment, excuse me, they can't reach anybody. So that brings my turn to the end. That's the end of the first turn. Move the turn tracker on to turn 2. No need to do German reinforcements. And the event chart, we will try on. We get a 6. And it says Lost British Rifle Squad appears. Excellent. So we get to add another British Rifle Squad. So in the same way as we did for setup, we roll a 7, which is this column here, and a 2. So we count up 2. In he comes. And again, if you couldn't land there because the unit was there, or if the unit was there, or it was in the water or whatever, then you just re-roll the positional dice. So far, this is working out great, isn't it? I mean, we've had a fairly lucky Mortar Strike, and we've now got a bonus rifle squad. So a good start. So the AI now moves. So let's have a look at this half track. That's what he's going to do. Okay, so he gets a 3 and a 6. Now that seems dangerous to me because it's a double attack. So this half track is going to try and attack. It says attack the British unit with the lowest total defense rating. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this rifle squad is 3 away, 1, 2, 3 hexes away, but he's also in a building, so that adds 2 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need a 5+ to hit this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need a 5+ to hit this guy. So they're the same. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the building. Too far away. And same with him. He'd be 6 away, but there's woods makes it 7. So everything else is too far away. So he's got him and him. And he's going to do 2 attacks. Now because they're the same, we choose those randomly. So he's going to sort of say odd and even. It's odd, so he's going to fire at this one first. Now a half track, if you see on the German chart here, next to it says attack 2d6. So they're attacking the same way as machine gun, basically a machine gun mounted on the half track. He's firing at this guy. So 2d6, and he needs a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 pluses on 2d6, and he's got 1. He gets 1, you're gone. Okay, 1 hit kill. So it wouldn't matter if he'd rolled 2 or whatever. And then he's for his second, because remember he's got 2 attacks, because he rolled 2 dice that gave him 2 attacks. So it was a 3 and a 5, wasn't it, or 3 and a 6 or whatever, which is both attacks. So his second attack is going to be against this guy. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Needs 5+. There's 2 dice. And oh gosh, he's hit both. So a bit unlucky. I was rather hoping one of them wouldn't have taken out. See, if you sort of try to rush half tracks in that way, it's pretty good tactics. I've been unlucky there. I would usually expect them probably to take out one of those, and then the other guy, if I'd have got a move and fire order, if I'd been able to move and attack next time, then I could have perhaps run one of them up into close cover or adjacent cover, and then had a pretty good 4+ go at this guy. So if you're 1 hex away plus its 3 defense rating would be a 4+ hit, so you'd have a 50-50 chance on 1 dice of taking him out. So there are ways to approach these half tracks, but they are a bit of a pain. The thing about the Piat team down here, and why I need to try and get him close, is they attack with 3d6. Okay, now they can only attack half tracks or units in buildings. So you imagine a sort of Piat team, like a bazooka, in other words. They need something pretty big to aim at. So as long as they're any unit in a building or a half track is what they can shoot at, but they're pretty effective against those. So if we could get him close to sort of 4+, 5+ range, then he could be he'd be rolling 3 dice for that. So that'd be pretty good. So we've got to look after this team down here, I think, until we can get them close to there. Not sometimes easier said than done. So that's him done. Okay, let's move on then. The machine gunner at the top there gets a 5 and a 6. He's trying to shoot twice. He can't do anything because he's too far away. This rifle guy here gets a double 2. Remember, that doesn't create a mortar strike for the Germans because that's an event. So just ignore the fact that it's a double. This rifle will, on a 2, it will try to move 2 hexes towards the nearest British unit, and it's going to do that twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be moving down here. So it's going to move into one of these 3 hexes here. So it's going to go into the building and its first move, and then it'll move again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's again towards one of these. I mean, technically what I should do is because these are both equidistant away, I should roll the dice odd even to see which one they're moving towards, which is that one, and then he moves 2 towards him, so he would go 1, 2, because he's on the direct hex line, he would move straight towards him. So the AI rules do clarify that, and it's, yeah, there's lots of examples in there to show you exactly what to do. There's no, haven't yet come, you know, lots of playthroughs haven't come across a situation where the rules don't clearly state what needs to be done. But that's what you should do. I mean, I'm conscious of the length of the video, I want to try and keep it reasonable, so I'm just skipping slightly on some of that, but if a German unit is equidistant from 2 or more units, you should select the unit first and then do the movement towards that unit. So that will have some effect on it. So he's come out into the open. We did the machine gun, done that. So to this rifle guy here, he gets a 4 and a 6. So he is trying to attack twice and can't. And the one at the top here gets a 1 and a 4. Remember, the 1 goes first. The 1 means he moves into one of the 3 hexes at the bottom there, which we do randomly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gives the middle one. And the second one was an attack action, which you can't do because it's too far away. So fortunately for me, those 3 are kind of taking their time, and I've got a real chance here to just, you know, push really quickly over here, try and take out these 2 units here and get into these red buildings as soon as possible. Yeah, I might have a chance of doing that before they get too close, but we will see. We will see. So that's the AI turn. So my second turn, then again, got to sort out what I'm going to do down here. Let's start with this Piat team. Okay, yeah, I've been a bit unlucky with the 5s and 6s. I keep rolling those, and that means they can't do anything but attack, which is a bit of a nuisance. In terms of the rifle squad, he's got a 2 and a 6, so that's quite useful. So what I'm going to do here is move up into this building, and then I'm going to attack this guy here. So 1, 2, and he's got no cover, so again, a 2+. I'm getting some nice clear shots here, and that's gone. So that's those 2 done. This rifle squad here, 3 and a 4. I can move twice, or I could move and fire, because 4 gives me the choice, remember. I think for now, I'm going to take it fairly easy here. Tempting to go to there, but I think I'm going to stay where I am, just out of range. I'm just a bit worried about this blinking half track, so I'm just going to stay away from him for a moment. You've got to be careful. Caution is there's usually plenty of turns in this game. What usually happens is you try to push too quickly and you get annihilated, so you've got to be a bit careful. Let's have a look at this sniper then. See what we can do with him. He gets a 4 and a 5, so the 4 allows him to move, so we'll go into this building here. Now the 5 can attack, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's the nearest guy. I mean, you can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. You can actually shoot any of these 3 units up here. They're 6 away, that's 5 away. Remember, he ignores cover, so he needs a 5+ to hit this guy and a 6+ to hit those 2. The sniper does only roll 1d6 to shoot, though. So much as I'd like to get rid of this machine gunner, it's going to be a bit tricky. I need a 6 on 1 die. So I'm going to go for this rifle unit where I need a 5 with the sniper, and I've actually got the 6, but never mind. Takes the rifle out, and I have to say, this playthrough is making this game seem remarkably easy. Trust me when I say it's not. Later missions do get a bit trickier. I'll show you. Perhaps if I remember, I'll flick through some of those at the end of the playthrough. The event chart changes slightly for later missions, but there's not a huge difference. But you will find that some of these are quite difficult. But so far, I've had some good dice rolls. So down just to these 2 guys. So this rifle guy here, he can't move because he's trying to attack twice, which is a shame. And my machine gunner down here, the 3 allows him to move 2, and he'll go into there, and he's too far to shoot anyone yet. So again, I'm going to try and push them, as I say, across to the right-hand side of the map as soon as I can. That's my turn done. On to turn 3. Again, reinforcements, not yet, but they are here next turn. We've got to be careful with that. That's the other thing that changes map to map. Later maps have slightly more vicious reinforcements coming where, you know, half tracks can turn up and so on. But for the moment, it's just going to be a rifle squad or a machine gun team. We'll see when we get there. Event is a 6. Oh, again, crikey. Very fortunate. Got another lost rifle team, so that's 7. Oops. 7 and 1, so he starts right down here as well. Actually got a reinforcement myself. Again, it's only a 6 that can bring you an extra unit, and I've had 2 of those now in 3 goes. So you can see how we're being slightly lucky, but there we are. So again, back to the Germans. So the half track will move first, because we do those first. He gets 2 2s, which again that's actually again a really good throw for me, because he's going to try and move 2 hexes towards the nearest unit, and he's probably going to run himself into trouble. But it's quite unlikely that he would usually get, you know, both dice being a 1 or a 2 is I mean, it's not, you know, hugely unlikely, but it's quite unlikely. So he's been unlucky, or I've been lucky again, that he's not going to fire here. So the nearest unit, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and I think I'll choose this properly. So let's just do odds and evens. So odd. So the nearest unit for this half track is, oh sorry, hang on. No, you need to count the half tracks. You need to count around the buildings. Of course you do. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6, except for that one. So you don't count as a crow flies for half tracks. You have to count the routes that it can actually take. Remember, it can't go through buildings. So this row of houses here is causing it a bit of a problem. So this is the nearest one easily. So again, it will move 2 and then 2 more. So down here, the first one, it will have to go there, and the second one, it will have to go there, because it always has to move as near as it can to it. So there is a woods hex here, but that's actually a hex further away, so it won't go into there. It has to move as close as possible. And it can't go into a building. So for us, it's putting itself a bit of risk. We probably need to focus now on getting rid of that next turn. The next unit to go for them is their machine gunner up here. So let's see what he does. He gets a 1 and a 6. So for the machine gunner, it says, if on an objective, do not move. If not on objective, move 2 hexes towards the nearest one. There's the nearest objective, so straightforward. It's in line with it, in fact, so really easy. Straight down that row of hexes. 2 moves, ends up there. Then it will try and fire, but I don't think it can. I think these 2 are within 6, but they're in buildings, so that would be sort of a 7 or 8 plus to hit. So it can't get to anyone yet. And the rifle is a 1 and 4, so the 1 first. Remember, it moves to one of the 3 hexes below it. Always pick the highest cover, so it goes there. And the 4 then, it will try to shoot 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 because of the building, so it can't shoot my sniper, fortunately. So that's all okay. That's the end of the AI turn. So my turn, and this is where I've got to focus. Now for my Piat, it would be really nice if I could move into this building and then unleash, you know, a missile into the side or flank of this half track. There's no facing in this game. It was heading that way, so it's just good, isn't it, to think it's you're flanking it. So the Piat team then I really could do with a move and attack. So I could really do with like a 2 3 4 for move and also a 4 5 6 to attack. Not hugely unlikely, but let's see what we get. Okay, we've actually got that. So we've got a 2 and a 5, which is great. So the 2 is a move, so he's going to move 2 into this building, and the 5 allows him to attack. Okay, so the Piat team, it's 1 2 away, so that would require a 2+ to hit. He's not in the woods, so he doesn't get any terrain bonus. Can't be in building, obviously, anyway, which is not. But then remember, it's a half track, so he does get a 3 defensive bonus just for its armour. So 1 2 plus 3 is 5 to hit, but remember the Piat team throws 3 dice when attacking. So in comes that lovely missile. Let's see what happens. 5 pluses we're looking for, just 1 will do. Ooh. And we got 2 in fact. So boom, there goes the half track. And again, it's really lucky for me that half track, you know, came down that road. Got a little bit stuck behind the houses in some ways. Clearly, you know, it seemed reluctant to attack for some reason, and I've just managed to put a missile right on the side of it. And at the moment, I've got, I I don't know if I lost anything. Yeah, I can't remember. I might have lost a rifle. Oh, yeah, I lost a couple of rifle squads early on, didn't I? But fortunately, I've had a couple of reinforced rifle squads since then, latecomers, and everything's going swimmingly. So this machine gun team up here for the Germans then, 2 and a 5. So again, the 2 will take him towards the objective. And then the 5 would make him attack, but he can't reach anything, so he'll stay there. And this rifle squad, 2 and a 5. So the 2 again, well, not again, but this for the rifle squad, this one, the 2 will move them towards the British unit. Move them towards the nearest British unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's this guy's the nearest British unit, so he will move towards him, and in 2 moves he can end up here or here, and they're the 2 hexes that are just 3 away. So you've always got to, when you're moving towards something, they've always got to try and reduce that distance by the most possible, or to the shortest distance possible. So he couldn't, for example, move over here because that's 4 hexes away. So it's got to be that one or that one. There are his options. Can't reach that, can't stay in there, much as he'd like to, he can't because he's got to move 2 nearest to me. So one of those 2 there. So I'm going to do odd even. Again, it's an odd, so he'll move into there, which is in the open, but there we are. Fortunately, the history of this is that the Germans at this stage of the war and in this particular area were generally less well trained, less efficient. Many conscripts, for example, from the east have been sort of drafted in to defend the area. So not unrealistic that, you know, they're not doing the most effective action every time. But as I say, this game will, you have to trust me on this, game will give you a challenge. Yeah, it will do that. This is by far the easiest I've ever found this game, any playthrough. So that's done, and it's now my third turn. So what am I going to do here? My Piat team, not really that bothered about them anymore. I suppose they could be useful against buildings, but let's see what we do. We're going to 2, so they can actually move 4. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to move him up into that building. So that's good. My sniper team, let's see what we get there. I've got a 3 and a 1. That's not great. So they could move them to. So what I'm actually going to do is just not going to move, because I'm going to hopefully get rid of that rifle squad with them, but I'm just going to take cover with them. So what I'm going to do there to signify that, just put another cube on the top. You can only do that once per unit, and that just adds an extra cover. So now he's in a building and in cover, so effectively, you know, gone inside the building, found a nice little window to hang out of or something. So he's now got 3 cover from that hex. So we'll leave him there. This rifle squad in the middle here is a 3 and a 5, so he can move and attack. So I'm going to push him up right up into this woods. I could stay in the building for 2, but I'm going to go to the woods for 1 cover and rely on the fact that he's now going to attack. 1, 2, 3. This guy's in the open, so 3 plus to hit. It's a rifle firing, just fires the 1 with 1d6. So he needs a. It's my little tray. Getting overexcited. Needs a 3 plus. And he gets a 2, so maybe my luck's changing, but he's missed. So coming back down here, let's have a look at this guy. Gets a 3 and 4, so he can move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's going to move up there as well. I want to try and get up to these objectives as soon as possible. Machine gunner, again, he can move 4. He's got 2 move actions there, 2 and a 4. And this rifle squad can move 2. The other one, the 5 is an attack. Can't do anything from there. And this guy right down here gets a 1 and a 2, so he can, the 1 is take cover, which is no use for him really, because he's out of range anyway. So he'll just move 2 over here into the woods. That's the end of that. So turn 4, you can see here that this is the first reinforcement. So yeah, fairly light reinforcements for this mission. There are loads of ways you can adjust the difficulty for these maps, for this game, and it's explained how you do that at the start. But for example, you can increase the size of the German force by simply adding points to their forces or taking them off your own. One thing you could do is add a temporary R. You could put a little cube somewhere, here or something, and say you're going to get reinforcements coming in there as well. So there, there are ways of doing that, which are fairly straightforward. If you do find it too easy, but I'm fairly sure that's not going to be, at least not an immediate problem, until you've picked up at least the sort of basic tactics required in this game. So let's see what the reinforcements are. It's a 3, so again we're lucky, aren't we? It's a rifle squad, so I'll get a brown cube, and they arrive in the same way. So the reinforcements, you know, they don't start right at the top. They can start in quite awkward places, so we do have to be sort of ready for that. They're going to come in column 3, which is there, and they're going to come in 6. We re-roll 6s, remember, when we re-roll 6s when we're looking for how far down they come. So 1, 2, 3, he's going to start here. So that's the German reinforcements. Event chart, we've got yet another 6. Wow, unbelievable, really. Unbelievable. So out of 4 events, I've rolled 6 3 times. So column 8, you know, that's probably not going to happen to you very often at all. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put these dice away as my favourite dice because they seem to be rolling a crazy amount of 6s. Next time I go to the casino, I think I'll, yeah, maybe sneak them in. So he starts at column 8, hex number 3. So in he goes. So another rifle squad. So we're swarming the whole area now. You know, the Germans are looking a little bit ragged. And it looks like we're going to be okay for this, to be honest. We've done the event, so now we're back into the movement. There's no half track anymore. We took that out. The machine gun team gets a 3 and a 5. Remember, deal with them in order. So it's trying to attack twice. Okay, so and it will do that here actually, because it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this guy is actually only 5. Maybe that was a bit daft me putting him there. Yeah. Anyway. He will 1, 2, 3, 4, and the woods is 5. So he needs a 5+. So the machine, so for a machine gun team, they roll 2d6, just like the British machine gunners and the half track did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5+. On 2d6 needs 1 5+, and he misses. Yeah, I knew they'd miss because that's the way my luck's going. So they miss, which is great. This guy, I'm going to go and buy a lottery ticket this afternoon, I think. This guy here gets a 3 and a 5, so he will try to attack. Oh, hang on, I just need to rewind that. Remember, I got a 3 and a 5 for him, but just he was attacking twice, wasn't he? So he'll actually attack again to this guy here. So 5+. Oh yes, hit it this time. Okay, cancel that lottery ticket. So he's actually taking him out. So this rifle guy has thrown a 3 and a 5. So he will actually try to attack twice. Now the nearest unit for him is 1, 2, or the lowest defense unit is what we're looking for, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, he's getting 2 cover from the building, this sniper, but also 2 cover because an extra cover because he took cover. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the building, 6 for being in cover. So he will shoot at him twice potentially, but he only rolls 1 dice because he's a rifle squad, and he does need a 6. So let's see how he gets on. Ooh, he's got a 6. Crikey, things are changing. My sniper is killed. Okay, so suddenly it looks like it's starting to swing a little bit. This rifle guy at the top gets a 1, so he'll move down into one of these 3 hexes here, and he will look for the best cover. So it's that or that, so odd even. He goes into that one. He threw an even dice. Then he'll try to attack with his second order dice, and he can't reach anything, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, he can't. End of the AI turn. So my turn 4 then. What do I do in return? Need to watch out. These machine gunners can be a bit nasty. You've seen that already. So let's just see what this rifle squad can do. Although he's in a building, isn't he? So maybe I should try... I'm going to actually try the Piat team first. See what I can get to there. So he's got a 5 and a 1. Can't move, but he can dig in a little for cover. So he's going to do that. And then the 5 allows him to attack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's no good. He can't reach that. Okay, so the rifle squad then, double 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he could shoot twice, but he'd need a 6 with 1 dice both times. Or we can call it a Mortar Strike. The forces are a little bit sparse now for a Mortar Strike. So I think I'm just going to attack twice on him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually I could reach him as well, but I'm more interested in getting this machine gunner out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 for the building is 6. He's got 2 chances of doing this. He's got 2 attack things. He's missed the first one, and he's missed the second one. Unsurprisingly, right, my machine gunner, it's a double 4 again. I could call in a mortar strike, or he can move and attack. Actually, yeah, he's going to move here, so you can't land on the same hex as friendly units, but you can move through them. You can't move through enemy units, and that becomes particularly relevant when we're attacking bridges, which there are a few of in this game, because that was a key part of the mission of the British invasion of Normandy in this area, was to take key bridges. So there are a few bridge maps, and if the German units are on the bridge, you can't get across it because it's only one row of hexes wide. So he's moved twice. He's moved 2 hexes into there with the first dice, and the second dice is a 4 as well, which is, remember, move or attack. So he's going to try and attack these 1, 2, 3, 4. He needs a 6, but of course, being a machine gunner, he rolls 2 dice. So let's have a look. And he misses. He misses. So now we've got these 3 rifle units down here. Now I want to send at least one of them up this way. I can. So this guy gets double 6. Now that double 6 is pointless. He can't attack. So what I'm going to do with this guy is do a mortar attack. So I'm going to mortar attack. I don't really want to put a mortar attack over these 3 onto him, because if I fall short, I could be in real trouble. So I'm going to put a mortar attack down here. I'm going to put it on column 7, because that's nice, far away from mine as possible. Let's see how we get on. We got 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Boom! Right on his head. Right on top of this German squad. Remember, it does a distance 1 attack, even though it's on the same hex. There's a distance 1 attack here, and he's in the clear. So and he's no natural defense. So I'd need a 1+, which I can't fail to get. So in fact, that's an auto kill. Also does the hexes around him, but this guy was out of the way, so that's fine. So that was him. Other rifle squads, let's do this one next. He can move 2, so he will do. He could shoot, but he can't reach, he's out of range. This guy, I think this guy I'm going to send, you've got a 3 and a 5, so let's move and attack. He's going to move up there as well. I'm going to send these 2 up that way, and these 4 into the main town, or the village, to try and take these 2 objectives. That's the end of that. So turn 5, again, there's no reinforcements. Event is a 2, German mortar fire. So let's see where that's coming. It's coming at 9, which is here, which could be dangerous. Could get a sort of edge of the blast. Let's see where it goes. It's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it lands in these woods here, and that is going to affect this guy here. Remember, from there, it's a distance 2 for a mortar attack. So 1, 2, 3 for the woods. So 3+ will destroy my, will eliminate my rifle squad. So 3+, when it's just 1 dice for a mortar attack. And it's a 3, so he's gone. He's gone. Okay, that's the event. Then we're on to the Germans. The machine gunner will go first. He gets a 1 and a 4. So 1, if not on objective, which is not, move 2 hexes towards the nearest objective. So he'll go there with the 1. And the 6, he will attack the British unit with the lowest defence rating. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be him because he's closest and in the woods. The rest are all in buildings and at least the same, if not further away. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 for the woods, that's 5. Remember, a machine gun fires with 2 dice. He's a 5+. And fortunately for us, he's missed. Fortunately for us, he's missed. Rifle squad, German rifle squad is 3, 5. He's trying to attack twice, actually. So again, he won't move, which is really quite helpful for us. Again, we're a bit lucky in this scenario because a lot of their units did start up in the top left here, or quite a few of them did, and they've struggled really to get down as quickly as they perhaps usually would. So that's again been something that's worked in my favour. So that's the end of the AI turn already. Still got plenty of time. This is only turn 5 for us. We're not even halfway through yet, so we've got plenty of time. Let's have a go with the machine gunner. 4 and 4. Now I'm still not that interested in doing a mortar strike, I don't think. So 4s are good because they're flexible. What I'm going to do with him, I'm going to take a risk, actually. I'm going to move him twice, move 2 hexes up into this building with one of these dice, and then with the other one, I'm going to use that as an attack dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 distance, 2 more for the building, that's 4. Remember, this is a machine gun fires with 2 dice, so I need 4 pluses on 2 dice. Just a 4 plus. Got it. That's killed the machine gun team. This rifle squad can't do anything. Can't attack because it's too far away. In fact, we might as well call it a mortar strike on column 4 just to see what we get to. 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? Right on the top of this rifle squad. So 13 goes bang on top of there, and it's a distance 1 hit. He's in a building, so that's 2 more, so it's 3 plus, and he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. So again, yeah, it's difficult. I can't believe how lucky I've been, but there you go. Boom, they've all gone. Now, it does specifically say in this book that eliminating the German units is not a victory condition. The victory condition is you land on these 2 objectives. So what I should now do is finish my turn, which I would, try and you lose cover when you move up. So I'd try and move the Piet team up, this and so on, and that would be then on to turn 6. But of course, then there's events. So you might get German mortar fire, for example, from sorry about that, from off the map somewhere. And then on turn 7, of course, there are reinforcements. Now, it's only going to be 1 unit here, but those things can make a difference in close games. So it's going to be unusual that you clear the board like I've done so quickly, but in some ways it's good because it's meant that this video is a lot shorter than it otherwise might have been. So I'm not going to finish it. We're just going to assume that, probably they would, they'd have got some reinforcements that might have come up here somewhere, but by then I'm probably going to be fairly well encamped, around this little village. And I've probably got my second guy on the second objective. Remember, as soon as you get a unit on each objective, you immediately win the game. So you can, we almost certainly will have done that. But as I say, for the purposes of keeping this video as short as possible, I'm going to call it a day. Just a quick look there. That's the first map. But yeah, second one, pushing then into Bainaville. The roads, by the way, just for aesthetic purposes, are just because they look quite nice. Again, you've got 2 objectives there. You can see this time, say about difficulty, it's quite subtle, but notice the objectives are there. Suddenly they're firstly a little bit further apart from each other, but also further up the map, which naturally makes it more difficult. There's also less cover down this end, so mortar attacks are a bit more lethal, should they come. You then start to get some river, so there's a couple of river or canal in this case, and then a river map. So here we've got a funnel in. Yes, there's an objective here which is quite fairly easy to take, but getting across this bridge can be really difficult, particularly if you end up with machine gunners in this objective, which is highly likely. And you may, I've had a machine gunner there and a half track parked on this bridge, and that is difficult. The river's even more difficult because the bridge is longer, so getting over the River Orne. Once we're across the Orne, you can see here we're pushing into Ranville, which is there. Again, the objectives here are much further apart. So you've got to decide how to split your forces or go for one and then move in and so on and so forth. Up to Merville, where there was German artillery batteries, which part of the mission was to take those out to protect Sword Beach for the British landings in a few days' time. So again, they're pushing further up the map, getting a bit more difficult. Securing local villages in the area, a couple of, again, tricky objectives then. And again, the cover for us is getting light. It's mainly woods based until we can get up into these villages. And finally then, map 8 is getting across the River Dives. Apologies if I pronounced that wrong, but there's again, the bridge across the middle. It's tricky. And both objectives are on the other side of the water, which does make that hard. All right, there's scope to make your own there if you want to. Left your blank page there. 8 maps. They're all, as you've seen, hopefully highly replayable. If I played that again, it would be completely different. You'd have different forces facing off against each other. They'd be starting in different areas. you know, things would play out entirely different, and you'd need to use different tactics and strategies. So there we are. That's it. It's me, Mike Lambo, talking about my second book game, Battles of Normandy. Hope you enjoyed it. It's available on Amazon. Thank you very much.